Hello, I'm making this video to explain to PayPal and eBay exactly what happened. Sometimes pictures mean 1,000 words and I can only type so much. So, I purchased this product January 18th. It is a power supply for a Gentle Lays Plus, and this is what the picture looked like on eBay. I did that on January 18th, I'm sorry. Delivery date, of course, there's listed. Now, this is a $2,500 product, and let's take look at some other pictures of it. As you can see, this picture shows a bracket only one side. This picture shows a bracket only one side. This picture shows two brackets. And as you can see, those two brackets, this right here and this right here, are flat. They are flat. You can also see that on here and here. This is the product advertised. This is his pictures, the seller's pictures. These are flat. This is the upside down, the bottom view of it. That is flat. This is flat. January 19th. He wrote back, "Thank you for your purchase," as you can see there. "Thanks, George." January 25th. He said he mailed it, so I asked him, everything, by the way, everything I've written is in green, everything he wrote is in red. I said, "Do you have a tracking number?" He gives me a tracking number, and this is my wife, and this is the address it was mailed to. I said, thank you, it looks like it just arrived. Will I need the little converter for this power supply? There's a little converter. Some power supplies need it, some don't. I just asked him if this would. He said, depends on what laser I use it on. It should not need it. So anyway, I wrote back. It looks like it had a rough ride. Still, this is the 25th. Basically, I showed him that it looks like a rough ride, and I sent him some pictures. You'll see those later on. I said, should I attempt to install this thing with the bent brackets the way they are, okay? And he said the brackets should not interfere with the performance. Is that all the damage you see? If there is more, you might want to make a claim with the UPS. Please have a certified laser repairman do the install. Okay, so he says the brackets won't interfere with the performance. Now keep in mind, this is an electronic device, very sensitive electronic device. It hit with so much ferocity that it bent the brackets, and I'm going to show you pictures of that. Then I'll go back to January 26th. There's the device, and this is as soon as I got it out of the package. This actually is a picture that I sent to him. Now you can see that this bracket is supposed to be straight, but it is bent in, also pulling away from the housing there. Let's take a little closer look, okay? I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. Now, this is a little closer. You can start to see there's a little nick right there where it hit something real hard. This is a little closer. As you can see, that is an area of strike. That is a strike area. And it hit with so much ferocity that it pulled this out. You can see it right here. This is just a little closer where it hit with so much force. That is not a thin piece of metal, guys. That is a thick piece of metal. And it hit so hard it pulled it away from the housing. Pretty hard hit. Let's go back up to the 26th. All right. This is actually 25th. Looks like it had a hard ride. Should I attempt to install it? He said it shouldn't interfere with anything. Sorry for the delay, I wrote back. I said no other obvious damage, because at that time I didn't see that area where it pulled out of the housing. Just the bent bracket. But guys, that's enough to mess up a very sensitive electronic part like this. I'm scheduling Henry Perez. Henry is a licensed laser repair guy, actually from the same city this guy sold me this from, Miami, Florida, to install it. And he does all my laser work. So instead of calling him, well, I'll get to it in a second. The next day, I've thought about this all day. I think the right route to go would be for me to mail it back to you for an exchange, one that's not injured. And then I did not get a reply. I said, I plan on having Henry do this install. Since the power supply suffered a fairly severe drop, there is a strong chance that when it is installed, it won't work. Now, it will cost me about $2,500, I'm somewhere around there, to get Henry to come in to do the work. I have to fly him in. I have to pay for his hotel, his rent-a-car, and the job. Of course, he charges me to do this. And I'm guessing that's going to be around $2,500. If when he installs this thing and it does not work due to the fall, I'll have to pay for an additional trip, because Henry is not going to give me my money back. He actually came over, he actually bought their airfare tickets, etc. In the meantime, as he's gone back home, I'll have to get another power supply. and so I have to pay for, I'll start the transfer. In other words, I'll have to order another one or get a replacement from this guy. What he wants me to do is go through mail and make a claim. Well, that's not going to work because that would take way too long. My previous note, and I never got a reply. My previous note needed to be longer, but eventually I had reached the max, So evidently I reached the max. I told him the easiest, fastest way for us to do this was for me to return it to you for replacement. Otherwise, Henry's trip to Arkansas would be for nothing, and I'll have to do it again later. I tried to explain that to him. Not sure he understands it. Anyway, I said, you can test it when you get it back. That way, when he gets it back, he can test it and see if it still works. Guys, if you take your TV and throw it down on the ground, it's not going to work. Not with that much force. 27th, I still have not heard back from this guy. Let's take care of this today, I said. As soon as I get to the clinic, I'm going to repackage it and put it back in the mail to you. I need an undamaged power supply as soon as possible. If you'd rather me purchase from somewhere else, let me know. And I tried to elicit a phone conversation with him, so I sneakily did this, 479-426-9013, which is my phone number, to try and get him to call. Well, I still didn't hear back from him. So I started a dispute. I think that's a little backwards, but anyway, started a dispute. I created a return. Reason for return, arrived damaged. That is a choice eBay gave me. Did it arrive damaged? Yes, click. Comments. This item arrived damaged. I'd be happy to switch it out for one that is not from the same guy. I'd be fine. But this, the one that's bent, had such a hard hit that I am pretty damn sure it's not going to work. He wrote back to my complaint. Hello, I'm sorry to hear you have troubles with power supply. Our last email exchange, you advised me that the package was damaged. I never emailed him. It was always through eBay, and I never told him anything about a package. I said it had a hard trip, but I never mentioned the shape of the package. You advised me that the bracket was bent. The bracket is there for installation, and if left in place to protect the power supply. I asked you if there was any other obvious damage. You replied with, sorry. For the late reply, no other obvious damage. Scheduling Henry Perez to install it. He does all my laser repair. This is just what I wrote him. He says, I am not responsible for the professional installation. I don't expect him to pay for the installation. I'll take care of that, but I just want a good power supply to install. That's all. The auction clearly states that the unit has been tested, and it may have been tested before he dropped it. I'm sorry, but I think that's what happened. We'll get to that later. And in working order before he dropped it. It also states that this is a rebuilt unit. They're all rebuilt pretty much because they don't make these anymore. And returns are not accepted. Well, I think eBay has the rules about that if it comes in all messed up. If you need to file a claim with UPS, let me know. Well, that's mail. If you ever tried filing a complaint with mail, you don't get your money back for it. They're going to fight that tooth and nail. I shouldn't be out this money. It wasn't my fault. I just got it and broken. UPS, let me know so I can help. As for any electronics that are sold, there are no refunds, no returns. I can help you provide you with a technician that did the rebuild. That won't help me at all. He can rebuild it all he wants, but when it's dropped, it's not going to work. He offers a 90-day warranty on this. Well, if he does, let me mail it back to you, and you can send it back to him for his 90-day warranty, see what he feels like. He says, I will look for this information and forward it to you, which he is not. I hope this will help. Thanks. I just think he wrote that so PayPal will read it, because I've never emailed him, and I never told him anything about damage of the box or any damage of the box. I said, no, sir, this does not help. If you're not willing to replace this unit that has obvious flaws with one does not, I'll just reverse the PayPal charge and you'll get it back, regardless of what your return policy is. I'm trying to say, look, I'd like to do business with you, but I need a good power supply. Can't have this broken one. I'll purchase a different one. The ball's in your court, but I'm not willing to fill out a claim with UPS. PayPal told me today when I called, the UPS route is not necessary. They'll take care of it. As I'm sure you're aware, PayPal has a 180 days money back guarantee. So if you don't want this sale, so if you do want this sale or not, basically let me know. All I'm asking for is power supply that does not look like it had been dropped before, during, or after shipping. Well, after shipping would be my fault, but as you see it, I opened it like this. If you do not exchange this part for PayPal, PayPal will handle it. Okay, 27th. Please, let's take care of this. I didn't say please. Please, let's take care of this today. As soon as I get the clinic today, I'm going to mail this back to you. Well, I didn't because I talked to PayPal, and they said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. I need an undamaged power supply as soon as possible. If you'd rather I purchase one from someone else, please let me know. Again, my phone number. He's never called. As you can see, When he's responded to the complaint, he wrote, "Our last email exchange, you advised me that the package was damaged." First of all, I never emailed him. All of our communications have been through email. Secondly, I never stated the package was ever damaged. I wrote, "It looks like a rough ride." So, because I was judging the power supply, not the box. I understand why he wrote that. It was to try to place blame on shipping. I get it. I'm pretty sure the damage happened prior to shipping, and I can prove it. This is one of the pictures that I sent to the seller as soon as I opened the box, and I've already showed you that. This one is the seller. As soon as I opened it, I sent them that. And again, let's go closer. The damage. You can see that hit right there. That didn't happen from inside a box. And with such a velocity, it pulled it out of the housing. Okay. This is definitely a hard hit. It does not look like a hit after it was packaging. Otherwise, the damage would be more of a push to the bent metal. This was obviously a strike from outside the box. It's the seller's intention that I hire Henry to come out and install this obviously flawed unit, hoping it works. Here's the deal. If you have a TV and it takes a hard hit like this, something hard enough to bend metal, guess what? The sensitive parts in that TV are no longer going to make that TV work. You're going to have bad TV. You hit your TV with so much force to bend metal, it's not going to work. So don't be surprised. You try it at home if you're in doubt. I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. He wants me to file a claim with UPS. When I called PayPal to initiate a dispute, PayPal told me we are not going to do that. You have to wait 3 business days, and after that, you initiate the complaint. So call back Thursday, which I will, and we'll take care of it, which I hope they will. One of his competitors emailed me pictures. I called as a competitor, and I said, "This is what I got." And this is what I got. Here's zoom in as close as you can to that. This is what I got. This is the way he packaged it. This is the materials he used. Some paper, some Walmart plastic bags, very little foam. That piece of foam is probably that thick. This is the way it's supposed to be packaged. This is what his competitor sent me. This is the way it's supposed to be packaged. There's the unit, big thick foam covering the ends. If this had hit, something, I'm not thinking it was within the packaging. I think it was dropped prior to the packaging. And as you can see, the strike on that metal shows that it happened prior to packaging. So anyway, this item was damaged prior to shipping. He mailed it anyway. Of course, it'd be the fault of the seller. If the damage happened due to grossly improper packaging, again, it would be fault of the seller. This is the package right here. And this is the power supply right here. This is how thick that packaging was, that thing. And you can see the bend. This is the bend right there. This is the unit. This unit, the other side is fine. Real close to that. You can see there's a hefty bend on there. I'm going to place this down. I'm going to show you the box. I'll throw these over, This is the box that came in. The box. This box would be trashed if it hit with so much force to bend that metal. That end would be trashed. This end would be trashed. This box is fine. It's very sturdy, and it has not endured any damage. Otherwise, it would just be crunching in. So this is the box he mailed it in, and I hope this video helps. And anyway, you see my phone number on there. If you have any questions, please give me a call.